So your architecture firm just got selected, to rebuild the Broad Street Market. So talk about, what do the plans look like for that? Will it be done in phases? How do you all plan to kind of jumpstart this?
Our strategy is to attack it and have sort of multiple layers that we're working on concurrently. I mean, one is obviously to stabilize structurally the market. There's part of it is still there and part of it is completely gone via the fire. So structural stabilization. Another layer is really the envelope, the roof, the exterior walls, windows, doors. We'll be doing that concurrently. And then also the layers are the interior layers. We'll be looking at the best layout for vendor stands and also the interior systems, the heating, the cooling, the fire protection, the lighting. So that's what's I think very interesting, challenging, and opportunities. But we'll be looking at all those things concurrently. There's different layers, I like to call them.
Yeah, no, thank you for that perspective. And talk about what do you think is the most important layer in this? Is it a layer to possibly prevent another fire like this from happening?
Yes, I mean that is a mandatory layer is sort of safety, fire protection systems. But I think equally critical layer component of this project is that the reconstructed, revitalized Broad Street Market remains or is transformed into as much of a community place and crossroads as it has been. So the community interaction, the community connection part of this is, I think, one of the most critical aspects as well. So we'll be getting input from the community and working closely with city officials and vendors, and I think that is paramount. That when it's all finished, it isn't just the reconstruction, repair of a historic building. It's really a community institution.
No, I love that because, everyone really loved and cherished that market. It was such a staple in Harrisburg. So what will you all be looking for in terms of things from the community to get feedback about?
Well, it's an opportunity in terms of the interior. I mean, I think the exterior we're going to try to be very very strict in terms of historic preservation, the 1874, 1878 look of the market. We'll try to be very true to that. But I think the opportunities on the interior for maybe some tweaks, possibly consideration of things like a mezzanine or how to really better have opportunities for events and community interaction on the interior, and even I think the plaza between the brick market, which is our focus, and actually the stone market building. Well, there's an opportunity to rethink that, yeah, as well. So I think we want to hear from the community on multiple topics and see what opportunities are there as we transform and reinvent the interior of the building.
Okay, so possibly, within the coming weeks, the city or you all may release some more information about how the community can reach out and share input. Is that correct?
Yes, we're just getting under contract now. We've been approved, as you know, by City Council. So we're excited to lay out the schedule of when we might be able to interact with the community and solicit their input, and then develop some options and some design concepts and get their reaction to that as well. So that'll be happening over the next 6 months.
Perfect. And then we kind of touched on this earlier in the interview. What do you think will be different about this? You mentioned that you do want to kind of focus on the historic feel, but what other, differences could come from this rebuilding process?
I think on the interior is where a lot of the opportunities for a different experience, a reimagined experience on the interior that's very engaging for community members and for visitors in general. That also works for vendors, and that the flexibility is there for vendors of all types to rent places of various sizes with all the utilities that they need in a very easy, sort of vendor-friendly way. So I think I think the interior will be a combination of stands, for vendors, but also some new experience that are places to spend time with family, friends on the interior that maybe weren't there before.
And then also talk about, you know, how did this even come about? Did you all kind of pitch your plans to the city? Did the city reach out to you?
Well, the city put together a request for proposals, which was very detailed, and multiple firms responded to it, and our proposal, uh, outlined our experience with other urban markets, helping, other central Pennsylvania markets like York Central Market, where we've done multiple projects that repaired or reinvented aspects of their historic building, but also Lancaster Central Market, uh, Lexington Market in Baltimore, and Cross Street Market, in Annapolis. So, our urban market experience was presented to the city, as well as our significant historic preservation experience, and also our ability to in adaptive reuse, which is infusing new uses or transformed uses inside existing buildings. So I think it was a combination of those aspects in our proposal that led to us being selected.
Yeah, no, and it's great that you are able to highlight you all's resume. So you said you've worked on the Lancaster market, right?
Yes.
And which other markets did you say again?
York Central Market, we have a considerable amount of experience, with that. I was even on the market board for a number of years. Another of our staff is on the market board now. So we know the inner workings, and every market's different, but we know the inner workings and aspects that are critical to successful operations of a market, in addition to just the physical and design aspects. So yeah, York City, Central Market, Lancaster, Central Market, Lexington, City Dock, and Annapolis. So yeah, we love urban markets. They're
Yeah,
vital to uh, cities.
yeah. And about how many architects do you think will be working on this project?
Well, we'll have a team of architects and architectural designers, historic preservation people from our firm, from Murphy and Dittenhafer Architects, probably 6 to 7 people, depending on the time. And then we have a number of engineering and specialist consultants, like the envelope or mechanical, plumbing, site related. So we have, I think, 8 consulting firms that'll be working with us from start to finish.
And then how long do you think this project will take? And when do you think you all will get the blueprints as well?
We're scheduled, I think, to start right at the very beginning of October, in a few weeks. If all the paperwork and approvals come through, which we think they will. And then it's a pretty intense 6 to 7 month design and construction document phase. And there may be some adjustments to that if there are early sort of packages that want to get out there, so the work can get going on certain aspects sooner than later. But it'll be a pretty intense, and very well organized process, design and construction after the 6 or 7 months.
Yeah, so you all have already, you said submitted paperwork and everything. So do you all have those blueprints? What
There's
paperwork?
no blueprints yet. We're just getting under contract to start the design work on the project, again, around the 1st of October.
Okay. And then also, is there a possibility there could be more vendor spaces in the market?
There could be. I mean, again, that's a very important topic. The layout and number types, of vendors that could be accommodated in the brick building. So we'll be looking at that for sure. I mean, is it the number, or is it the types, or both? And having flexibility will determine, what the eventual number is. So.
Mhm. And then also, you did mention that you possibly do want to include some sort of fire protection in this
Oh,
new rebuild process. Talk about, what does that entail for, a building like this in order to kind of preserve its historic value?
well, it's a crucial element in the renovation we did for York Central Market. Part of that project was to put in a new fire protection system. There was not a sprinkler system or fire alarm systems in that historic building, which is similar vintage somewhat, 1898. This is 1878. So we'll be doing it and looking at how to put in a sprinkler system and fire protection devices, in a way that is sensitive to the historic fabric. I mean, if it's where it goes, the lines and the devices, are not compromising the visual aspects, of a historic building like that. We're good at that. We've done that on other projects, and that'll be our approach to do it in a comprehensive but sensitive manner to the historic fabric at Broad Street.
And then, what is the cost of all of this? Of course, everything costs money.
What we don't know. There's a construction manager, Alexander Construction, who is already on board. They will be really the primary company that controls costs and puts cost estimates together, but we'll be working closely with them, and city officials to make sure the costs align, with the budget. And, there are a lot of variables right now, so that will be forefront in our process as we design and look at options that they are the most cost effective and value based, choices for an important project like this.
Yeah, I mean, do you have like an estimated range of what it could be?
We don't. I know Alexander has started to sort of think about that, but I think it's premature to sort of put any cost ranges on the project yet.
Yeah.
We
Okay.
haven't started the design work yet.
Okay. And then what would you say the number one most important thing is with this rebuild process? Is it time, making sure that this gets up and running, in a specific time frame? Is it cost, or is it the historic feel, the fire protection? What is it?
All of the above. And I'm not just saying that because when I talked about concurrent layers or pathways, it really does have to be all of the above. It obviously has to be, which should be up and rebuilt, reconstructed, and open to the public as soon as it possibly can, but in a manner that is historically correct and visually appealing, and also in a safe manner with fire protection systems and other safety protections, and with a layout on the interior that again is vendor friendly, community friendly, and inviting. So it has to be all of the above, not just one of those.
And then can people expect, a different look on the outside? Like, will everything kind of look the same, or will it be a different kind of feel on the inside and outside? What can people kind of expect?
I think our initial observation and thoughts are that the exterior will look the same as it did. Yeah, probably be a few exceptions, but replicating the historic exterior again from the 1870s seems to be the best starting point. Uh, it's got a lot of history. It's a known institution in downtown Harrisburg and Midtown. And then the interior, I think, is maybe where there's a little more flexibility. We're not going to replicate exactly how the stands were laid out or the infrastructure and utilities. So we're going to, I think, do that in a different, maybe better, more sensitive, more flexible, comprehensive way. And again, I think we'll be looking for opportunities, new infusion, sort of surgically, where there can be community crossroad points. If it's gathering places, if it's a new mezzanine, if it's a performance area, if it's a children's area, I think a lot of ideas will probably be on the table for some new energy on the interior.
Perfect. Thank you so much. And then anything we didn't talk about that you want to mention?
Well, I think we mentioned it, but it's an incredibly exciting opportunity. It's for everyone. And for Murphy and Dittenhafer Architects, we're thrilled. We feel privileged. We feel a lot of responsibility to do this right. And it's not just another project. It's not just about rebuilding a structure after a horrific fire. It's really an opportunity, again, to maybe reinvent, and restore and look at opportunities with the community, for an important institution in Harrisburg.
Awesome. Thank you. Very well said.
Thank you.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Frank Dittenhaver, for joining us, president of the architecture firm that will be rebuilding the Broad Street Market.